Gil, you're on.
I do not mean to elevate your blood pressure anymore. However, there is a question that I have that I just need to unload.
Before you continue, Gil, please don't ever think you have to hold back what you want to say. Please, I like the free thoughts, okay? So go for it, my brother.
I was speaking to my neighbor last night. Can you explain to me the hypocrisy about Bernie Sanders owning mansions, Pelosi being a millionaire because of behind the scenes or behind the deals of her office? The criticism that I get when they tell me that illegals were giving free housing, welfare, federal assistance, while we had to work our butts off to, pay our own bills. Can you explain to me what is the reality of all of that?
Thank you very much for that. And first of all, let's take Pelosi first, okay? Pelosi came straight out and said, when it came to being able to trade bonds, being in the Congress, and they don't have any rules that they have to follow. I am a capitalist. And she went on and said that I am completely opposed to what Pelosi did in that regards. I think any politician who goes out there and believe in trading when they're on the floor, etc., that's not my kind of politician. Now, that doesn't make me disrespect Pelosi for all the good things she have done for the middle class, but she has a definite blind spot and is absolutely wrong on that issue. When it comes to Bernie Sanders and how Bernie Sanders built his wealth by writing his book and selling his book and that sort of stuff, I don't have a problem. If you recall, Jeff called earlier and talked about being a blue collar worker, putting his money into investments, making quite a bit of money, living mostly off of investments, etc. I don't have a problem with that. The wealthy class use people like Jeff as tools because they make them believe that progressives like me are after their earned income. And heard what I just said? Earned income. Billionaires didn't earn their income. Bernie Sanders wrote a book, sold a book. Even somebody like, let's say, Beyonce and Oprah and others, who they go out and perform and they earned. I think there needs to be some clapback because the airwaves that Oprah made her billions off of and the cameras that take her image elsewhere, those people have not been compensated. So we do need to have an adjustment to how we talk about your worth and how you make money. That's why some of us support things like basic income, etc., to cover those issues that says I can invent something and somebody else make billions off of it, and I'm never compensated for my invention the way the corporate structure works. That's one of the issues. So no, I'm not in favor of what Pelosi is doing. Bernie Sanders earned his money. Bezos did not. When it comes now to illegal issues like illegal aliens, etc., that you call them, I am a naturalized American citizen that did it the way that that the government says to do it. I did it the right way. By the way, the Pilgrims didn't, but I did it the right way. And here's the thing: the lie is that when undocumented workers come over here, they get money and they get all these things. That's false. When asylum seekers come over here, they get those things because that is international law. If you go over to Germany, the same thing applies. If you go over to England, the same thing applies. Asylum seekers, that is what we're talking about. And while we're trying to figure out, because our system is so behind, because we're a humane country, while we're trying to determine if people are asylum seekers or not, we do one of two things. We actually allow them to go to work by giving them temporary visas to work. But if we can't give them temporary visas to work and we can't send them back to the country, we do take care of them. Now, there are some issues that you can talk about in Chicago, in New York, etc., where you have people trying to find homes. And then these folks are bussed into Chicago and they get taken care of. That creates a justifiable animosity. And what we should be doing is we should not have American citizens living in poverty Because again, it puts danger onto our humanity at large. Did I answer any of your questions at all, Brother Gil?
Yes, indeed you did. And I suspected all along that might have been the case along this line. Now, I did not know about the international rule of law regarding asylum seekers.
I know they don't want you to know that, sir.
However, that doesn't give us the right, or any other country the right, to treat a human being inhumanely.
Thank you. Gil, do you notice something, Gil? You thought you called here for us to have a fight. And I think what you have proven is we don't necessarily have to agree 100%. But basically, because we all have for those of us who have humanity, when we actually understand things the way they really are and not the way they're programming us to be, we're actually pretty much thinking the same, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Great. Well, thank you for your call, my dear brother. And I need to get to some other calls and we don't have a lot of time. So thank you for calling. All of our country's problems, from polarization to ignorance on domestic and international issues to a complete misunderstanding of our economic and healthcare systems, are a direct result of a derelict mainstream media that too often bend over backwards to support corporate or bought politicians' wants as opposed to the people's needs for real information to make their lives better. Independent media is the only solution to inform truthfully and factually. Why? Because our loyalties are to you, the ones who fund us with small dollar contributions and subscriptions. Please consider supporting our independent media platforms by subscribing to our Egberto Off the Record newsletter at politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. Again, that is politicsdoneright.com/newsletter. It's an investment that pays incalculable dividends.